My girlfriend just broke up with me to test if I would fight for her. I did not fight. Now she is panicking, and I think I just discovered something horrible about the people I trusted. I am 28, and I think my entire relationship was just destroyed by the most twisted game I have ever heard of. I need someone to tell me if I am losing my mind here. Last night, my girlfriend Madison looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Braxton, I think we should break up. We have gotten too comfortable." I respected her decision, told her I loved her but would not fight someone who did not want to be fought for. Packed my bag and left. Now she is blowing up my phone, saying I reacted wrong, and this is not how this was supposed to go. She just admitted she was testing me to see if I would beg and grovel. But here is what is making my blood run cold. I just found out from a friend who was there that her toxic friends Paxton, Skylar Rose, and Kinsley spent hours that night coaching her on this test. They made bets on how long it would take me to come crawling back. Paxton apparently bragged. When I tested Marcus, he begged for 3 weeks straight. That is how you know it is real love. Skylar Rose said, "If Braxton does not grovel, he never cared about you anyway." And Kinsley, who I thought was the smart one, said, "Make him prove his worth. If he just accepts it, he is not husband material." They were so confident I would break that they made actual money bets. 48 hours, 72 hours, 1 week max. What they did not count on was me actually having enough self-respect to walk away. When someone tells me they do not want me, Reddit, I feel sick. These people convinced someone I love to emotionally manipulate me for their entertainment. They turned my relationship into their personal psychology experiment. And the worst part, I am starting to realize this was not the first time. Looking back, every fight Madison and I had seems to coincide with her spending time with this toxic trio. They have been slowly poisoning her against our relationship for months, making her feel like our peaceful connection was boring compared to their dramatic train wreck dating lives. I have been staying at my friend Jake's place, trying to process this. Madison keeps calling, crying, saying she realizes she made a mistake. But how do you trust someone who would rather test you than communicate with you? What would you do? Am I wrong for not taking her back? Or did I just dodge the biggest bullet of my life? Edit. For everyone asking, yes, I am sure about what happened at girls' night. Jake's girlfriend Sarah was there and was horrified by the whole conversation. She tried to talk Madison out of it. Edit 2. Madison just called again. She is now saying Paxton convinced her it was a good idea, and she never wanted to actually break up. I told her we would talk when I was ready. I am not ready. Update 1 Reddit. I thought the story could not get more messed up. I was wrong. Reading your responses helped me realize I was not losing my mind. What these women did was genuinely psychotic. So Madison has been calling me non-stop for 5 days. Each conversation gets more desperate. She keeps insisting it was just a test and she never actually wanted to break up. Yesterday she said something that made my skin crawl. "Braxton, you were supposed to fight for me," Paxton said. "When men really love you, they cannot they move heaven and earth to get you back." The brainwashing runs deeper than I thought. But here is where it gets absolutely insane. Jake's girlfriend, Sarah, could not sleep after what she witnessed at girls' night. So she told Jake everything, and Jake told me details that made me want to throw up. This was not just some spur-of-the-moment bad advice. These women spent 3 hours that night planning my psychological destruction, like they were planning a military operation. Paxton, who has somehow managed to get divorced 3 times before turning 27, positioned herself as the relationship expert. She told the group, "I have perfected the art of testing men. When I broke up with Marcus as a test, he sent me flowers every day for 3 weeks, showed up at my work, wrote me poetry. That is when I knew he was worthy of me." What she did not mention to the group, Marcus eventually left her anyway because he realized she was completely unhinged. Skylar Rose, who treats relationships like Netflix subscriptions, binge for a month then cancel, chimed in with, "If Braxton just accepts the breakup like a little puppy, it means he never had any real passion for you." And Kinsley, who I genuinely thought was intelligent until now, wrapped their poison in fake feminist language. "You need to make him prove he is worthy of you, Madison. If he does not fight like his life depends on it, then he is not alpha enough to be your husband. But here is the part that made me physically nauseous. They made actual bets on how I would react. Paxton was so confident in her manipulation tactics that she bet Madison $20,000 I would be begging to come back within 48 hours. Skylar Rose said 72 hours. Kinsley, apparently the pessimist of the group, gave it a full week. They were sitting around Madison's living room, the same living room where I had spent countless evenings thinking these were people who cared about us, placing bets on my emotional breakdown like I was some lab rat. None of them considered for even 1 second that I might have enough self-respect to actually listen when someone tells me they do not want to be with me. I am so angry I can barely think straight. These people turned my relationship into their personal entertainment. They convinced someone I love to hurt me just so they could watch what would happen. And now I am seeing the bigger picture. Over the past year, every single fight Madison and I had happened right after she spent time with this toxic trinity. They have been systematically undermining our relationship for months. Every quiet evening we spent together became boring in their eyes. Every thoughtful gesture I made became the bare minimum. Every moment I was not performing grand romantic gestures became evidence that I was taking her for granted. They convinced Madison that our stable, peaceful relationship was somehow inadequate because it was not dramatic enough for their reality television standards. I have been staying with Jake, going to the gym every day, reading again for the first time in months. Honestly, I feel like I can breathe. I did not realize how much I had been walking on eggshells, trying to keep Madison happy while her friends picked apart everything I did. Madison called me today sobbing, begging me to come home so we can fix this. I told her there was nothing to fix. She made her choice when she decided to test me instead of talking to me. But I love you, she cried. I was just confused. My friends said your friends, I interrupted, convinced you to emotionally manipulate someone who loved you. Think about that. The line went quiet for a long time. But Reddit, I am scared about what comes next. These women destroyed my relationship for sport. What are they going to do now that their little experiment backfired? Edit. Madison just texted me. Paxton says you are just being stubborn, and you will come around when you realize what you are losing. The audacity is unreal. Edit 2 to everyone asking about the friend who told me. Yes, Sarah felt terrible about what she witnessed, and thought I deserved to know the truth. She said the whole thing made her sick to her stomach. Update 2 Reddit. Grab your popcorn because what I am about to tell you is better than any reality show ever created. These toxic women just destroyed each other in the most spectacularly beautiful way possible. First, my update. I am thriving. Like genuinely thriving. I have been staying with Jake, reconnected with friends I had neglected, got back into hobbies Madison used to complain were boring. Turns out, life is pretty great when you are not constantly trying to manage someone else's manufactured drama. Jake invited me to a work networking event last week, and I met this incredible woman named Ember. She is a data analyst, brilliant, direct, says exactly what she means. When she asked if I was seeing anyone, I told her recently single, taking time to figure out what I actually want in a relationship. She laughed and said that was the most mature thing she had heard from a guy in months. We have been on 3 dates now. No games, no tests, no committee of toxic friends analyzing every text message. Just 2 adults getting to know each other like normal human beings. It is revolutionary. But the real entertainment has been watching Madison's toxic friend group destroy itself from the inside out. Remember Paxton, the self-appointed relationship guru who has been divorced 3 times? Well, she was so proud of her foolproof testing method that she could not help but brag about it on social media. She posted screenshots of her advice to Madison with captions, like helping my girl level up her man, and how to separate the real ones from the fake ones. Her current boyfriend Marcus saw these posts and something clicked. He realized she had been testing him throughout their entire relationship without him knowing. Marcus confronted her about it. Paxton, being the master manipulator she is, tried to gaslight him. She told him he was being insecure and reading too much into innocent girl talk. Marcus was not having it. He broke up with her, but not quietly. He made a Facebook post that went nuclear. I refuse to date someone who thinks love is a game to be won or lost. I deserve someone who is sure about me from day one, not someone who needs to torture me to feel secure. Paxton, your relationship advice comes from someone who has failed at marriage 3 times before age 27. Maybe the problem is not the men. The comment section exploded. Half the people were cheering Marcus on for recognizing manipulation. The other half were attacking him for airing dirty laundry. But the damage was done. Everyone could see exactly what kind of person Paxton really was. Then it got even more beautiful. Some genius on TikTok found Paxton's posts about her testing methodology and created a video with the caption, "When your relationship advice comes from someone who collects divorce papers like Pokemon cards." That video went completely viral. 400,000 views and counting, with thousands of comments absolutely demolishing her manipulation tactics. Paxton had a complete meltdown. She deleted every social media account, blocked anyone connected to the story, and apparently moved to a different city. Her reputation is so toxic that she cannot get a date anywhere, because everyone knows about her testing obsession. But wait, it gets better. Skylar Rose, never one to miss an opportunity for attention, decided this was her moment to defend their brilliant strategy. She made her own post about how testing separates real men from boys and actually tagged me and Madison in it, trying to paint me as the villain for not fighting hard enough for love. This backfired so spectacularly that I almost felt bad for her. 2 other guys she had been casually dating saw it too. All 3 of them ghosted her within the same week. Now she is making bitter TikTok videos about why men are trash, but her engagement has completely tanked because people are tired of constant negativity. When you spend all your time creating relationship drama, eventually people stop caring when you complain about being alone. But the absolute crown jewel of this karma festival is what happened with Kinsley. This woman really thought she was being clever. About 10 days ago, she slid into my DMs with a message that made my jaw drop. "Hey Braxton, I have been thinking about you since all this drama with Madison happened. You handled everything with such maturity and grace. I always thought you were too good for her anyway. Maybe we could grab coffee and I could show you what it is like to be with a woman who actually appreciates a quality man." The sheer audacity. This woman helped orchestrate the destruction of my relationship, and then tried to position herself as my consolation prize. I screenshotted the entire conversation and sent it directly to Madison with the message, "Thought you should see what kind of friend you have been defending." Madison's response was immediate and nuclear. "Are you kidding me right now?" Apparently Madison confronted the entire group about Kinsley's little scheme. And that is when the truth came out. Kinsley had been doing this for years, giving deliberately bad relationship advice to friends, while secretly positioning herself to swoop in on their boyfriends when things went south. Paxton and Skylar Rose both remembered guys they had been interested in who mysteriously started hanging around Kinsley right after their relationships hit rough patches. The pattern was undeniable. The friend group exploded in real time. They kicked Kinsley out immediately, but the damage was done. Their entire social dynamic was built on manipulation and competition. And once that was exposed, there was nothing left to hold them together. Kinsley tried to start fresh by joining professional women's networking groups, but someone from the viral TikTok situation recognized her and warned the other members. She literally cannot escape her reputation anywhere she goes. Every time she tries to build new social connections, someone discovers what she did and spreads the word. As for Madison, she's been trying to reach out constantly, apologizing, saying she realizes her friends were toxic, begging for another chance. She actually seems to understand the magnitude of what she allowed to happen, but I honestly do not know if that matters anymore. The trust is completely shattered. How do you come back from someone choosing to psychologically manipulate you instead of just having an adult conversation about their insecurities? I told her, "I hope you find someone who appreciates you when you are not trying to impress toxic friends. But that person is not going to be me." She completely broke down, but honestly, I feel free for the first time in months. Ember and I are taking things slow and getting to know each other without any games or manufactured drama. Her friends are actual supportive people, who seem genuinely happy that she is dating someone who treats her well. Sometimes the trash really does take itself out, and sometimes it burns down the entire dump on its way out. Edit. Stop asking for social media handles. I am not going to help anyone harass these people online. no matter how much they deserve it. Edit 2. Yes, I am seeing someone new. No, it is not a rebound. Final update Reddit. I know. I said I was done with updates, but this conclusion is too perfect not to share. Plus enough of you have been messaging me asking for closure that I figured you deserve to know how this wild story ended. The headline news: Ember and I are engaged. I proposed 2 weeks ago at the hiking spot where we had our first real conversation about what we both wanted from life. She said yes before I could even finish the question. No games, no tests, no toxic committee of friends weighing in on our relationship. Just two people who love each other deciding to build a life together. The ring shopping experience was everything my relationship with Madison was not. Ember knew exactly what she wanted. Simple, classic, timeless, instead of Instagram flashy. We talked about our budget openly, looked at options together, and made the decision as partners. It felt like the most natural thing in the world, but I know you want to hear about the final karma updates. And let me tell you, the universe saved the best for last. That TikTok about Paxton's relationship testing advice created an entire internet movement. It sparked thousands of videos from people sharing their own stories about toxic friends who sabotage relationships for entertainment. Paxton became the unwilling poster child for that friend. Everyone needs to cut out of their life. The viral fame completely destroyed her social life. She moved to a different state, changed her name on social media, tried to start over completely. But the internet has a long memory. She cannot date anyone because the story follows her everywhere. Multiple people have told me she is working retail now and living with her parents because her reputation made her unemployable in her field. Skylar Rose is still single and still making content about toxic masculinity and why men is not worth it. But her audience has dwindled to basically nothing. When you build your entire personality around relationship drama and male bashing, people eventually get tired of the constant negativity. She tried pivoting to self-love and healing content, but everyone can see right through it. Her scheme to replace toxic friend advice with boyfriend stealing backfired so spectacularly that she became a cautionary tale in her own right. She tried joining professional women's groups, book clubs, fitness classes, anywhere she could meet new people. But her reputation preceded her everywhere. Someone actually created a Kinsley warning network in our city where women share information about her tactics to protect their relationships and friendships. She has been effectively blacklisted from the dating scene and most social circles. Last I heard, she moved back in with her parents in another state. But the most complex karma story belongs to Madison herself. After everything imploded, she went through what appears to have been genuine therapy and serious soul-searching. She made a TikTok video about toxic friendships and how she let manipulative people destroy the best relationship she ever had. The video got over 3 million views and spawned countless response videos from people sharing similar experiences. She talked about recognizing manipulation tactics, learning to set boundaries with friends, and understanding the difference between supportive advice and destructive interference. She seemed to genuinely grasp the magnitude of what she had allowed to happen. She reached out one final time when our engagement announcement went public. Her message was simple and heartbreaking. I should have talked to you about my insecurities instead of letting toxic people convince me to play games. I hope she knows how incredibly lucky she is to have someone who loves without conditions. I showed the message to Ember, and her response was perfect. She is right. I am lucky. But so are you. You learned what you will and will not accept in a relationship, and that made you ready for something real. The whole experience taught me that authentic love should never require tests, games, or proof. It should be offered freely between people who choose each other consistently without needing manipulation or drama to feel secure. Ember understands this instinctively. She has never once made me guess what she is thinking or feeling. When we disagree about something, we talk through it like adults, until we find a solution that works for both of us. When her friends offer relationship opinions, they are constructive and supportive, rather than destructive attempts to create problems where none exist. Her friends actually like me and include me in group activities. They treat our relationship as something to celebrate rather than something to dissect and undermine. It was revolutionary to discover that friend groups could actually support relationships instead of trying to destroy them. We are getting married next spring. Small ceremony, intimate guest list consisting entirely of people who have been genuinely supportive of our relationship from the beginning. No toxic dynamics. No manipulative friends. No one who thinks love should be a competitive sport. The trash took itself out and cleared the path for something infinitely better. Edit. Please stop trying to identify the real people involved, or asking for their current social media. This story had a happy ending precisely because everyone involved finally left each other alone. Edit 2. For anyone wondering about red flags in toxic friendships, if your friends are more invested in creating drama in your relationships than supporting your happiness, run. Real friends want you to be stable and content, not entertaining and miserable.